All right. We are here tonight. Got one person already waiting for us. Hey, I was going to
And
say,
we're
is it?
glad you're here.
I was going to say, is it Humpty Dumpty Day? Hey, Mike.
It's
No.
no, it's not hump day.
Oh,
It's the day after hump day.
how about how
It's
about
Friday Eve.
it's Friday evening?
Friday
How about
Eve.
the Thirsty night?
There you go. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
hot as Savannah is. I mean,
Today
wow.
is really hot.
Yeah. It's being like Savannah. Savannah's coming back and say, yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, I was taking things. Well, I went out to bring my car around the back
Mm-hmm.
to put stuff in it, and I'm like, oh wow, it was not this hot when I went in, but
It is now.
oh, it was, and it got hotter as the day went on.
Yep. Well, folks out there, we want you to make sure that you share with your friends, share with your family, share with your mates, of course, and share with the enemy too.
Yes.
I'll share some people that you think you may need to know about taking the journey. I know that's what you came here for because you know about taking the journey together is all talk about relationships. And I am Craig, or some people call me Imar.
And I am Sharon, and once in a while called Zare.
All right. Well, couples here try to do our thing to pass out some good information that has to do with what kind of relationship is that?
Healthy or thriving relationship.
Exactly. So, what is for those who are new to this or have not been around with us before? What is our motto or vision, or how we may want to say that?
We are going to relate.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what your mother, father,
Mm-hmm.
sister, brother,
Kinfolk. Go ahead. I'm
friends,
sorry. Mm-hmm.
enemies, or even what Jesus might say.
Uh-oh.
We are going to relate.
Mm-hmm.
But at taking the journey together, we want to instill in you methods in which you relate in a balanced way. And when we say balanced, what we mean is you start with a friendship relationship
Mm-hmm.
and you build that friendship relationship into a loving relationship, committed relationship, and you have a you go into a relationship with your friend and your lover as that same person, and the relationship you build from that is a healthy, thriving, balanced relationship.
Well, okay. Now here's the test. Here is the
Okay.
test. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is a civil channel that is basically putting out information as we should. As a digital channel, as a black alternative digital channel. And with this test goes along with taking the journey today. What is for everyone out there who may not quite understand the definition of taking the journey? Oh, we just lost one eye. Hopefully they'll come back again. Okay, like I said, I am going to slow down a little bit because we want everyone to really listen to this. What is that taking the journey balance really based on? And how is that connected to love?
You're asking.
I'm asking you.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to chime out too, who's been listening to our program, or they might have their own thought process too. What is our taking the journey principle that we talk about, and how is it connected to love? How is it?
The principle
Mm-hmm.
and the foundation is
Yes.
friendship.
Okay. So the principle and foundation for taking the journey or healthy relationship is friendship is the basis.
Mm-hmm.
True friendship,
Yes.
not associates,
No.
but a true friend.
True friendship.
He or she who has a true friend has a true friend indeed. I've heard some people
Mm-hmm.
say before. And
Yes.
many of us have had some true friends,
Yes.
unconditionally like true
Yes.
friends. Okay.
Yes.
So we're seeing that in that balance or this healthy relationship, which is based on the foundation of friendship, is also part and partial in connection and relationship and marriage is a partner, is a friend to each
Yes.
other closely
Yes.
called love.
Yes.
So love is friendship
Mm-hmm.
and friendship is love.
Yes.
Now, most people have separated love from friendship
Mm-hmm.
and friendship from love.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out how are those two the same?
Yeah.
I don't get it. How do you connect them together? And through taking the journey, thriving relationship,
Yes.
we connect them. We put them in the same boat, that same boat of love,
Mm-hmm.
and have them rowing together. No, right?
row.
Have them married together well,
Yes.
where it really makes sense of why they are really one and the same in
Yes.
so many words.
Yes.
And can you kind of help us out um, and give us that in that simple way?
Give us
Uh-uh.
uh, no, because
The definition, you said foundation the first time. What does love have to do with it?
love is friendship and friendship is love.
But can you explain it in a simple kind of form or way of how it's produced in a relationship?
Yeah, by the things that you do,
Mm-hmm.
because love is an action.
Right. Right. So now you're moving to a point of action by actually speaking with your words.
Hmm.
And I could tell you're even surprised to actually say that love is an action and it is the outcome. It is the actual showing if you're a true friend. So if
Yes.
you have a true friend, if a true friend can't show the action of love, then you have to say to yourself, that person can't be no true friend of mine.
Exactly, exactly, and that's where the difference come in with a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people when you choose between, okay, this is a friend, but this is a friend that I like. We haven't gotten to the point of love yet. We just kind of like each other because they haven't proven themselves,
That's
and the
good.
relationship has not grown
That's a good
at
way to put
all.
it. That's a
Yeah.
good way. And I would say your smaller steps of explaining this because it was something that you had a hard time believing
Mhm.
because most people keep that separated and they don't see it one as being the same
Yeah.
because as we start out talking about taking the journey,
Mhm.
okay, people usually look at a relationship as being either you're my lover or you're my friend.
Right.
In the lover part, they usually look at it as being love. So let's be honest with
Yes.
you.
Yes.
And there's a lot of action going on in the love part,
Yeah.
lover part.
Yeah.
But the friendship part, they look at it as being separate, not being the
Mhm.
same.
Mhm.
But yet they are really as one.
Yeah.
In true friendship is about love.
Exactly.
And love, when it's operating in its truest form, it's going to have everything to do with friendship.
Yes.
So friendship, as we talked about, is the basis.
Mhm.
The basis.
Right.
The action that comes from that friendship is what? Love. Because
Love.
love is what? It's an action. It's
Absolutely.
definitely action. So I think it's important for us to bring that up because I know you had a little trouble last time we talked about it. We've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
The first time you actually expressed it in a way that told me you really didn't understand that. But I understand that. There's been a
Yes.
long time of us having the belief
Mhm.
system that we cannot be friends and lovers. Or you just say
Mhm.
we can't really be friends because then love doesn't really exist.
Right.
And if love doesn't exist, then it's really not true
Mm.
friendship. That's just no.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be that way. I don't think it was anyway in the first place,
Right.
really.
Right. Right. And yeah, and so I do understand and believe that and agree with you even when with um love and friendship
Hey, we got
go hand in hand.
turning from Mr. Ellis,
Tuning
turning.
in from Pooler,
Thank you. Good to see you again. Good to see you again. Go ahead.
is connected. They're one and the same. Once you get to the true friendship part, a lot of people don't start off as true friends,
Hmm.
and that's where the problem comes in.
Well, I'll be more specific because it's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
observations, studying on my own, as you can
Right.
see, and you
Oh
involved with
yeah.
me on the
Yeah.
internet and all that stuff. I think it just really boils down to um, the thought that love is really just an action. I think that's where the problem is. A lot of people have had love mixed up in just what? Yum, 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 yum,
Yeah.
yum, 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 yum.
Now a lot of people have.
Words, just words,
Mm-hmm.
just words.
Yes.
I mean, you have heard a lot in a lot of relationships. A guy tell you I love you, guy tell you I love you, and most women or sisters will say, "You ain't did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You talking how much you love me.
Right.
You're japping at the lips, but you ain't really doing anything."
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in a relationship where there's some women who jab at their lips, talking about how much they love me, how much they care, but they ain't doing nothing.
Right.
They ain't no action.
Right.
So on that simplistic level, which we use, and that's on the relationship level.
Right. And that's
I'm not even
and
go back to kids where we do the same thing with kids who talk that
yes.
we're gonna like, but you ain't doing nothing.
Right.
Of course, you got some kids that grown up with some parents who ask you to do as I say, but not what I
As I
do.
do.
And most young
Yes.
kids say, "No, we ain't doing that no more.
Yeah.
Mom and daddy, you ain't doing it. Then don't even expect me to think I'm going to do something
Mm-hmm.
else differently."
Yes. How can you expect me to do something
Mm-hmm.
that I see you not doing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah.
Kids will call you out on hypocrisy in a minute.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, many of our relationships are living in a very
Mm-hmm.
hypocritical way,
Yes.
and we're not even on the same basis. But
Absolutely.
one may be feeling that when it comes to love, friendship got nothing to do with it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then, of course, someone who may have friendship might be uncomfortable in love.
Yes.
And the fact that we don't have both of them together, which is we're taking the journey, healthy relationship
Right.
that we're trying to push is all about. We understand that there's that power play that happens a lot in relationships.
Mhm.
And this is where it happens, where I don't see you as being a friend, so I ain't got nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And another person says, well, I love you deeply, but I don't like you.
Yeah. And you don't even understand that
Mhm.
it or how, people can say, um I love you, but I don't like you right now.
Yeah, I heard that before.
How do you I mean, is it
It is,
this hour on the
but
clock
it goes
is
back.
not
It goes back to most folks have not been taught or not actually observed that love is an action verb. It's
right.
an action.
Mhm.
It's an action.
Yes.
Just like energy that runs through the wires in your wall.
Mhm.
It's the action. It's
Yes.
there all the time at that plug, really, I'll be honest with you. But if you stick something metal in there, boom, it's gonna flow. It's gonna be action. With no action, just sitting there and do nothing. No, don't do
Yes.
nothing. So love is an action. It's that energy that makes that flow that runs
Mhm.
through you
Mhm.
to have you move to do those things that you believe and say and you trust and so on and so
Right.
forth. I'm from that end. And I think that's the problem. Many of us have been in a relationship where there's been a lack of actions, but someone's been saying love so much.
Mhm.
And so you pick up the same thing right along
Yes.
with you and say,
Yes.
well, I can say I love you, but I don't really do no action behind it.
Exactly. Where people will come to you and say, you could say to somebody, well, you didn't say you love me, so how do I know that you love me? Or you just know. Or you don't show me that you love me, but I do. So
Mm-hmm.
why do I have to show you?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I have heard a lot. Why do I have to show you
Mm-hmm.
when I'm here, so you should know it?
Yeah.
Well, here is not enough.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
the very topics we're talking about today,
Hmm.
you could easily bridge this
Yeah.
in because the
Because
topic we're talking about is being caring
or
or evasive.
evasive. And just being here
Mm-hmm.
is being evasive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we all, most of us were agreeing, unless you guys want to give us some, your thoughts and feelings. Most of the time we put caring in the loving category.
Yes.
And not only do we
Hmm.
put caring into a loving category, but we usually think about caring is a real process of actions,
Right.
not just talk and thought, but no actions
Right.
behind it.
Right.
Okay. And yeah, I'm hearing somebody saying, but hey, you heard that old saying, it's the thought that counts. I've heard that many times too.
But that only works. It's not the thought that counts
Mm-hmm.
if it's still in your head. It's the thought that counts that you tried to do something and you didn't quite make it to the
There
other
you go.
person's level of desire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's when the thought counts.
Exactly, exactly. I think what you're also seeing in this case is the fact that you did an action, and
Exactly.
that action may not have been as much as you wanted to
Right.
do,
It may have
but at
fallen
least you
short.
did an action, and so it's
Yes.
the thoughts that
Yes.
counts, and that's what I'm trying to say.
I appreciate you making that
Tipping,
attempt.
exactly,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. So it's very important that these are taking the journey, and we use the hey, bring up the button. By the way, now that you have the button, or do I have the button? Button. Who's got the button?
We've got the button.
Okay, so show the button up, and this kind of
Button.
talks all about that big foundation called hot.
Hot.
Hot means
Honest.
open and transparent. And what a foundation that love can sit on.
Yes.
You have a friend that's honest, open, and transparent. You can't say if the person is in that kind of mode or that's the way of their life. You can't say, well, that person don't love me.
No.
Because if you're going to be hot, open, and transparent, you're going to have action behind it.
Yes.
You're definitely going to have action behind it. And you could definitely in turn say if that person has the action and consistent way, that's the way of life. You can definitely say, well, that person it loves you. Their actions will prove that if they're open. Now, if they do some actions, of course, on the transparent side where they slap you around and cuss you all the time, there's no doubt about it. If they're doing that kind of action, you could make some decisions quite quickly. Maybe over time that, no, I don't think this person really loves me.
No, that's not really
okay.
Love.
And usually there's might be some lack of openness and honesty in that matter someplace if they're doing something like that.
Now, here is how you can be hot.
Okay.
You say you love ATR
by
by your hot button.
Oh,
and show how much
did he do it already?
He you love ATR. Because every button that you purchase supports ATR.
Mm-hmm.
Be the first one today
Day. Mm-hmm.
to purchase a hot button and support ATR
Yep.
because you love
Our
it.
engineer works hard. He does a
Yes.
lot of work by himself. He's got his putting his task, his arm, his leg, his blood, sweat, and tears. And he's
Yes.
definitely a busy person. So hey, and I know a lot of us who are on this channel are getting some good information. It's given to you freely. We're not charging you for it. We know it's good information. We know it's not chump change information. We know it's not from that end. So, and you're not just getting it from us. You have those other shows that are on too are doing the same thing, and everyone's doing it from the bottom of their heart, or they
Hmm.
feel it's a passion because we're not getting paid to do this at
Right.
all. We're not getting paid. So this is just a give back to the community, a give back to the world, which is what
Yes.
we're doing, right?
Yes. And you can get a button by emailing us at ttjt at takingthejourney-together.com.
All right.
ttjt at takingthejourney-together.com. Get your hot button, show some love to ATR.
And also use it as a way for guys out there for a pickup line. You'll get some good quality. I won't say high value men or high value women. Bless his heart, Mr. Kevin Samuels. But I'm just saying one thing for sure: you get some quality conversations at least started
Yes.
when it comes to a relationship. One thing is for sure. Definitely. So we're back to the fact that love is in the action, which is really love, is very much connected to our topics we've been talking
Right.
about for the last two times, but this is the third time.
Hmm.
Caring innovation. Most of us will agree if someone in my relationship is evasive all the time, I can't say I believe they really love me if they're evasive all the time. Right?
What?
Yeah, there you go. Oh, you're doing an example. That's funny.
Sure.
And you certainly can't saying, well, they're surely being they're real friendly.
No, but you know I love you and I'm all into the relationship.
Yeah.
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 I,
Wow.
I'm I, I'm not going anywhere. I don't go anywhere. I'm all into the relationship. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Become like a ball in the chain.
There you go.
A ball that they used to say that about wives or husbands. You got a ball in the chain. Again, make sure that if you got any questions or any thoughts of what we're talking about, go ahead and put the comments. I think the comments go below or someplace like that, or type them in and we'll put them up and let people also see them too at the same time. We're talking about caring evasiveness, how it is part of love. It is the action of love. And many times when our action of love in a relationship ain't really connected to one another, because maybe we don't think about each other as being friends, then we can have some messing feelings
Yes.
of hurt, okay? And have feelings of feeling out of control, right? And so we
Yes.
run into the arms of another particular person who might be saying, I can be your friend.
Yes.
I'll be more friendly to you than what what he was doing and what that boo was doing.
But then neither one of you are being hot.
Yeah, well, yeah, someone's hiding something. There's no doubt about it.
Yes.
They ain't being truthful about it. So you run into arms of another man is one way.
A
Sometimes
woman.
a woman, exactly.
Mhm.
Sometimes you can, get lost in your kids. We talked about
Yes.
that. Your
Yes.
family,
Mhm.
drugs, of course, you know
Mhm.
about your job, and yes, the church.
Yes.
And of course, sometimes you get so caught up, you just get caught up in self.
Exactly.
You just self-centered
Yeah.
doing your own thing. And that's about you
Yes.
and nobody
Yes.
else. Yeah. Well, the common thing that these people have is what? And what's one of the big common thing that these people have when it comes to
They are generally emotionally
unavailable?
unavailable. Emotionally
Emotionally unavailable.
unavailable.
Yeah, we can say very easily that emotions are part of the outcome or the colorful, what I call flowiness of what love can,
Mhm.
or elements of what love can
Yes.
actually present in action towards you. And we know most of us are maybe, in a lot of cliches, that angry black man or that angry black woman
Mhm.
is
Oh
one of the
gosh,
things that's
yes.
pushed a lot. And hey,
E-
right.
Either way, if you're black, you're angry.
Well, after what happened in Buffalo, you can know why a lot of black folks are sad over that particular killing with that
Yes.
person who was definitely a domestic terrorist.
Mhm.
I mean, there were grandmothers and older
Those
people
are
that were doing that.
racially motivated.
Yeah, I
I
know, I
mean, that's
know, I know.
just.
You felt bad over it too.
Oh yeah, that was. Oh,
Yeah.
even today when I think
Mm-hmm.
about the gravity of it and the
Mm-hmm.
meaning of it, and how it's played out again and again and again
Mm-hmm.
over the decades and centuries.
Yeah.
It's just
I was talking to
mm,
someone today about it, and she was saying that was grandparents passed away. No,
Yes.
or killed. Okay.
Yes.
And then she said, can you imagine all of the grandkids that are connected to grandparents and how grandparents have a high level of
Yeah.
connection to those grandkids? And now the grandparents are gone. How much trauma that they're
Hmm.
going to feel over that?
And some of them were great
Oh
grandparents.
yeah, I
And
forgot.
these are
Yeah.
generations
Mm-hmm.
that are are lost. That's one of the reasons why it's so hard for young people to connect with older people,
Mm-hmm.
because they've lost the stories in
Between
between.
exactly, exactly.
And for them to just be snapped away senselessly,
Mm-hmm.
like that, it's
It's sad. It's
devastating.
sad. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we can at least try to start in our own relationships to try to, present that friendship that has that
Hmm.
action of love. So we at least could be more accountable to being more loving to one another.
Yes.
And how we then relate to others will start from how we relate to one another. Because that's a sad and tragic, and as you said, definitely unnecessary. Emotional unavailability.
Hmm.
Many times in that relationship, there are emotions that are just unavailable. I mean, it's just,
Yes.
I'm not going to present them, especially the emotions of care and of happiness or
Hmm.
uplift or all
Yes.
those other very high,
Strength.
yeah, strength. Those kind of emotions are left out, and sometimes we carry only that one emotion of anger. And a lot of
Hmm.
people say, I would wish that was more unavailable.
Yes.
And yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So, what are the 10 signs of emotional availability of men and women that we talked about? When it comes to real life conversations, they run. Their relationship history speaks loudly. They have intermittent responsiveness. The energy is non-committal. You feel insecure and misunderstood. Defensiveness is the second name, and lacking excitement, romance, and growing love is usually 10 signs for someone who's emotionally unavailable and is not showing that love. And most likely, again, going back to what we talked about before, they are not good friends.
Right.
They cannot be good
No.
friends like that. You can't feel like they're good friends
No. No.
with
No
that.
way.
No, 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 no.
No.
So we talked about 5 evasive toxic emotional manipulation ways that can be difficult to spot and overcome a relationship.
Hmm.
It could be a wide range. Some are subtle, some are unconscious.
Unconscious
I,
and.
th- I think one and overt and covert. I think about one of the covert ones in my relationship is when I had some, women I dated in my life for closely, and they would say, "Man, I love you so deeply, you would never understand." I mean,
Yeah.
I've heard
Right.
that. I heard that so many times. Where I'm like,
What's the point?
oh, no, for me, well, the lack of how you've been acting towards me, you're right. I'll never understand it. I don't get it at all. Period. But yeah, so that's to me, that's a covert way, a toxic covert way that many times in unhealthy relationship,
Yeah.
what we call, what kind of relationships we talking about? The other ones?
Thriving.
No, no, thriving
Healthy.
relationships don't. No healthy relationship. You ain't listening.
Okay. No.
No, struggling relationship. What's the
Oh,
other?
okay.
Stressful
Stress.
relationships.
If
Yeah, that's how I
please,
was
yes.
referring to.
No, I
They
thought
can
you
be.
said not in the other
Oh no,
one.
no, no, no,
Okay.
no, no,
So
no. Yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah. So yeah. You want to go on with that? What's the next one?
The next one is calculating, or
Mm-hmm.
but whatever end of the spectrum it's on,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you either go too far one way or too far the other
Mm-hmm.
way, and you do it. Calculating is really like manipulation,
Yeah, it
where
is.
you figure things out and you decide just what you want to happen, and you kind of tweak the circumstances to get where you want to get, without excuse me, without paying attention to what the other person is feeling.
And sometimes it's set up in such a way where you end up feeling guilty.
Yes.
And that was your target.
Mm-hmm.
It was to make the other person feel guilty,
Yes.
and you feel good about it.
Mm-hmm.
What's the emotional unavailability? Your emotion of care in this case
There
was
you go.
unavailable if you
Yes.
set up something like that to make someone else hurt.
Exactly.
Exactly. So tell me a situation.
And it's
Mhm.
it's selfishness.
Yeah, that would be the word.
Yeah.
So tell me a
Yeah.
situation where you think it happened either in a relationship or happened with someone else. And if anybody's listening, if you ever have had that happen in your relationship and we're telling you it's toxic, just put something up there, your own testimony when that has happened. When you know someone sets you up to do something for them and it made them feel real, real good, but you felt real bad. You felt you let down. You felt like they were browbeating you. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
In the emotions in this particular case that was unavailable was you didn't feel love for them at all.
Yeah.
And so there was like it was, I guess they ain't got nothing to give to me, but just mostly
Yeah.
hate. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. And sometimes it's the small things that you
Mm-hmm.
don't pay attention to. It's where, take into consideration when somebody's planning something,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not sure about it and they're not secure in it. And then, they set it up so they ask the other person to, what do you think about this? Should I do this? Should I do that? But in the back of their mind, they're like, I don't think this is going to work. But they have this other person thinking that it's going to work, you know, when it falls apart. Well, it's your fault. I never should have listened to you. You didn't want me to succeed anyway.
Are you
You
trying
know,
to say to me? Is that what you're trying to say?
uh huh. No,
I thought I saw that glint in your eye, like I'm gonna get you. So you just manipulated your way in
I
such a way
did.
to make me look bad in front of everybody here by saying, you know how those guys are, you know how those men are, you know how those black guys are. They're always trying to
Yes.
do something to make it
Yes.
seem like everything that they're doing it to make them feel good and big headed, but at the end they ain't did nothing.
Yeah. It's and
I
it's
reject that.
but it's your fault.
I reject that.
Yes. It's your
I'd be
fault.
like Chappelle. What's
Dave
Dave
Chappelle.
Chappelle? I reject that. You know, he doing his hands like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's a stereotype that is
It
out there.
is. It
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
And it happens. Been
yeah.
there,
It
done
does.
that. I've
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
I've
Well,
experienced
I
that
mean,
on the other
the
end
young
of it.
brothers like even like
Yeah.
me, you come out from single parent fathers where they don't have fathers around. The first thing
Mhm.
many times we'll think of is that father wasn't there and didn't show me no actions. Therefore,
Mhm.
not only don't think him as be friends,
Yeah.
but I don't think he was even someone who loved me
Yeah.
whatsoever from there. So I mean,
Yeah.
there is an action from a relationship
Mhm.
that had to do with your mom and
Yeah.
dad that in turn affected you in the way it did
Yeah.
toxically, where you do think of things
Right.
in that particular way. You
Yeah.
do, you do.
And where I was going with that was
Mm-hmm.
the other side of that coin
Mm-hmm.
is if it does turn out well,
Mm-hmm.
then they take all the
The crack.
glory for it, and you're just standing over on the wayside
Mm-hmm.
listening to, oh yeah, and I did this, and this is what made me come up with this, and blah blah blah, and you're not mentioned
Okay.
anywhere.
Okay. Hold on now. I'm gonna have to do it so people can at least understand it better or listen to it. If you guys had the experience, please put that down. But that's so stereotypical that guys they say alpha
Oh no,
males should
it
do that.
happens. It happens on
But you
both
know what I'm
sides.
talking about.
Yes, I know.
That the woman will end up coming up with the solution to the problem, and
Mm-hmm.
the guy will come back and say the exact same thing, and she won't get any credit whatsoever. What's in the job world, or
Yeah.
you know what happens in the relationship world. I
Mm-hmm.
know I've never did that, have I? Come on, tell me.
Never.
I don't think I have. Have I?
Never.
Come on, be for real.
Never.
I don't think I have. Have I?
No.
I don't think I have. No.
Mm-mm.
No. 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 But I know. No, don't be too much one other way around. Yes, I have. I've took some things that you've said
Mm-hmm.
and then said that was something that was new and different. I never heard. Oh, that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. No.
Okay.
I'm trying to say, have you ever did that? You have, well, you did it a couple of times. Yeah, you did a couple of times because you're like a teacher. And, many times when you look over my stuff that I write, you kind of, get real critical about
Yeah,
it.
you don't like
I
that.
know, I hate it. I actually hate it when you do that. And it's because you give every bit of the energy of I know this, I know this,
But
I
I
know this, because
do.
you do it every day. I feel kind of like intimidated too at the same
see,
time. And the male side of me says, man, she can't tell me what to do, especially with this particular thing. Yet the friendship side, which is very real, is well, yeah, she can, because this is what she does every day. The only thing about it is you just hate that she don't really try to comprehend what is being written first and then come back and maybe smack me in the cheek with why grammatically it's not done correctly.
and see, and that's
Mm-hmm.
the thing that I have to learn
Mm-hmm.
as a part of your love language to
Mm-hmm.
understand that
And we're going to
I,
talk about love language rule
yeah,
sometime soon. So continue to be with us. We'll be talking about love language. That's very important.
yeah,
Everybody has their own love
mm-hmm,
language, and that's important in
yeah,
relationships, especially if you're going to operate in friendship ways. You're going to have to know each other's love language.
yeah. And see, taking into consideration that I
Mm-hmm.
am an editor,
Mm-hmm.
I have been trained as an editor,
Mm-hmm.
and to as an editor, I go through different stages, and sometimes I go through them all at
Mhm.
once,
Mhm.
and then I go
But you
back
act
and
like
do
a
things.
copy editor.
But I've been
But
trained as a
oh,
copy
you
editor.
were? I
Yes.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
That is terrible because their job is to be that but critical. Sometimes you have 3 or 4 copy editors.
Yeah.
When one copy editor
Yeah.
can't be that precise, you get another copy editor that's more precise than that.
Yeah.
Then you get another one that says all of them are wrong, and I
Mhm.
still got it right.
Yeah. It depends on what's going on.
Mhm.
Like I have edited things like
Mhm.
um, um, PhD dissertations.
Mhm.
I didn't have a clue what I was reading sometimes,
Mhm.
but I did understand how it needed
The
to
gist of it.
be put
Oh,
together and
but
stuff.
but
But
what I asked for you to do with mine,
mhm,
since we're talking about it, not really airing our dirty laundry, but being hot about it, is I usually ask you to comprehend what I'm writing
mhm,
first and then go in and get more specific so that by your comprehension, and then you'll ask me, talk to me at the
yeah,
same time, some of the times, but most of the time I try to ask you to do that. Then I can let you know if you're close to what I'm trying to
mhm,
put down from my thoughts.
yeah,
And then, of course, from there, you can tweak it so
yes,
that it does actually express it. And I'll be
yeah,
honest with you, I like the words that you use in expression.
mhm,
Since you have wrote several books, very
mhm,
good books, by the way, folks, and in turn, your words are colorful with some of the other stuff we do. I like that because I'm usually straightforward, as folks can see,
yes,
laser pointed,
mhm,
technical, because I've been in the technical world for such a
yeah,
long time. It's
yeah,
been part of my life. I love the coloration that you add to it
mhm,
from that end. If and then we talked about this before. If you keep that modality, did I use the right word? Okay, that way,
yes,
then to me it would work out a
yeah.
lot better. Yeah.
And see, and that's what I was mentioning with the love language. I have to
Mm-hmm.
understand. I have to learn how to take your love language and my semi expertise and meld them together. And as we sit here talking, one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that I probably need to start doing is when I get ready to edit something for you, take it and walk away.
Yeah, walk away from me. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, because
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's too personal to you, which
exactly,
is why you need an outsider. And that's and
exactly.
that's what and I run into that sometimes with in publishing when
Mm-hmm.
I'm publishing somebody's book. I used to
Mm-hmm.
run into it a lot where they would say, "No, but I want it this way."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying, "But your point's not getting through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
need to really make people want to read this.
Mm-hmm.
No, but this is how it should be." And this is why I'm like, "Okay,
and that's
I'm
and
just
that's and
saying."
at the end that's their decision too
Exactly, it
if they
is,
want to
it
if
is.
they want to do that.
Right.
And for those out there who are ever thinking about writing too, hey, please understand you have a author in you. I'm just going to tell you right now, you have an
Yes.
author in you. The school that taught you that you have to learn how to do the graphics, excuse me,
Grammar.
the grammar, right? I's, dots, e first, c next, I whatever, that is just not, you see how I have to know about it, that's just not true. I mean, that is not true. It's keeping a lot of virgin and those who want to express themselves in
Mhm.
words to get outside of the young
Yeah.
rappers who did a good job to a certain extent.
Mm.
But anyway, I'm just saying that you can't let that school tell that to you.
Yeah.
Because as I found out later on, because I've wrote a couple of books myself on relationship, I found that at the end, if you in turn move forward in it, they have people like her that exist. They cost a lot too, but that's why I married one. But anyway, they have editors out there, and those editors will do what you just got through talking
Yes.
about. So you don't have to be so caught up in trying to get
Mhm.
this edit correctly. Your mission in life
Yeah.
is to be able to express
Yeah.
what's inside you and put it down on paper
Yeah.
or put it on the computer and get that out. Am,
Yeah.
am I pretty much
And you,
close?
you
Yeah.
are. And
Mhm.
when people come to me and they say, I want to write a book, I don't know how to get started. How do
Mhm.
I get started? I said, with words.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm being, smart aleck or
Mhm.
something like that. What I'm being is honest. The only way you're going to start writing a book is to put words down on paper, on a computer, or on a napkin, or on your phone, whatever. But it's though once those words start going down and you start getting that framework, kind of like a relationship. Once you start getting that framework of when you meet somebody,
Mhm.
and then you start putting it together and getting the framework going as you're building the friendship and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
that's the only way you're going to write a book,
Mm-hmm.
is get started. If you're waiting for the perfect word to start it, or you're waiting for a title, or you're waiting for anything like that, that's kind of like in a relationship. I will get into a relationship. I'll know when I'm in love. Well, you don't necessarily start off in love. You got to build up to it
The way you got to
sometimes.
start up is a friendship. I'll get you back
Exactly.
to on track here real
No, no,
quickly.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
So you should be working to try to
Yes,
see if you two are compatible to
compatible.
be friends, or how
Hmm.
about just being our real friends?
Yes,
Can we be friends?
yes.
You know,
And so you can't just
do we want to be friends?
it right. And so you can't just automatically say, "Oh no, I'm not going to do anything until I know that I have
Mm-hmm.
that we're in love." So then once we're in love, then but how are you going to get there? How are you going to get to the
Well,
point where you
that's
know?
a whole nother subject, because in loveness is a thing you can fall into just as much as
Hmm.
you can fall out of. So let's not go down
No,
that.
no, I was meaning
I know
the
what you were your analogy,
yeah.
but let's not do that.
Hmm.
I was going to go to a reality.
Right.
That's what I do.
I
You
like the
you like a whole
yeah.
bunch of words. Okay,
Yes.
that's how you are.
Yes.
Dark black. The
Yes.
young lady that is with us on Unity and Community, what we do on River Street every third week of the
Hmm.
month, we're doing for the last 6 years. We're going to be there this May,
This
from
weekend,
this weekend from the 20th to the 25th.
tomorrow.
22nd, I should say, Friday, 11 o'clock in the morning, and Saturday, 11 o'clock at night. So it's 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. And then on Sunday from 11 to 6 p.m. So
Hmm.
anyway, you got to come out, got to enjoy it. But Dark Black, she's out. She was with us for years. We helped start her out, and she's got a book about her life living in Fraser Homes. Am I right?
Hmm.
And now she's got a new book. What was her new book?
It's called Light White or something like that.
Exactly. But she was another young person that felt motivated and moved to take the words from her mind and put them what? On
On
paper.
paper.
And we helped her bring her into the presence of people from all over the world, because that's where people come from River
Hmm.
Street. And she just really what took off.
Yes.
The different types of styles, and young and old, black and white and blue and green, different people who've bought her book is unbelievable.
Yes.
I've always said, because I know we peeked at it, that, and she markets herself so
So
well,
well.
that she ought to think about moving that, especially she's in Georgia.
Hmm.
Someone should think about getting a hold of her. If you do, go down River Street, get a chance to talk with her. Her book would be worth being in the movies,
It would.
whether it was a series, probably a series,
Hmm.
or a movie
It could
itself.
be either one.
Anyone's listened to it,
Yeah.
anyone who has friends who in turn no friends in this area who wide are looking for a new story, are looking for something that's somewhat realistic but has the past and the drama and all that stuff in it,
Hmm.
got to come down to River Street. Make sure that you at least talk to
Yes.
Miss Dark
And
Black. She does a heck of
and
a
that
job.
was her first book, and it is so well
It
written.
is. It is.
I
As
just
you would say that as the editor, when you,
yeah. And I read it as an editor,
I know you did.
and I read it first as an editor just because that's what I do,
Mm-hmm.
and then I read it again as just someone who would have purchased the book. It's a wonderfully well written book.
I don't read much, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, I could almost see pictures in my mind. And when you look at her, it's kind of hard. That's her book.
Yeah,
That she went through that lifestyle. It
exactly.
really is. Okay, so we're back again looking at the 5 toxic emotions that can be used to in turn basically skip out.
Yeah.
So you're doing and being evasive, not caring, not saying what you mean, not saying what you mean. Okay, involves what? Well-meaning or harmless gestures, that action that create a lot of problems. We talked about that in words.
Hmm.
In other words, people talk about the intentions, but they're not really.
Right.
So they call damage. And what happens is many times people have a hard time trusting. A lot of relationships. I think some of you guys can hold your hand up. You're in a relationship where you don't quite trust this person.
Yes.
And that is a normal thing in a
Hmm.
relationship. When you're trying to move to a thriving relationship or a healthy relationship, trust is definitely something you have to work on.
Right.
A hot principle will help you, but one thing is for sure, being evasive in that relationship is not going to work.
No.
Whether you don't feel trustworthy with this person or the other person doesn't feel
Hmm.
trustworthy, you really got to talk about that trust. That trust is very important. It's the glue that keeps that relationship or that friendship together. And it's definitely, it grows and has moving parts to it. Am I right?
You're
I mean,
absolutely right.
give me, here's an example I can think of in my own mind. If, oh, I remember my first marriage. I remember when my first wife's mom died. We
Mm.
weren't we were having a hard time with trust anyway, but still working on it. But I remember when her mom died, and she was very close to her mom. Her family was very, very close to her mom. One of those Southern moms that everybody loved. I mean, when
Mm-hmm.
she passed away, the church had more people coming to see her pass away and give her her long ride home than the bishop of the whole region. The church was that full. That's how well known she was.
Yeah.
But her daughter, which was my first wife, went through a tough time of just being able to be normal in life.
Mm-hmm.
We were still rocking and rolling with this concept of friendship because I've always presented that, but that was a time when friendship didn't really even show up
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
And I had to go through a tough time for understanding that time she couldn't really push that. I mean, she had
Mm-hmm.
a harder time anyway with that whole concept,
Right.
but that time was friendship. What was that about? My mom, who I love, you
Yeah.
understand what I'm
Oh,
saying?
I
It was
definitely do.
hard during that time. So
Yeah.
so friendship is definitely moving parts. It expands and it has its ebb and flows, all its
Mm-hmm.
seasons, and that's why I say the action of love, that energy that comes from the action, when your friendship wanes during those times, you ain't gonna be that active in
No.
your
No.
action towards
You're
that other
not.
particular person.
Not
You're
at all.
not. You're
Mm-mm.
gonna really slow things back. It takes the other person who basically has had that, hopefully
Mm-hmm.
that same basis of love towards you as
Right.
a friend. Just like if you're a friend, the way you usually think about it without this principle,
Right.
if your friend was hurt, your friend had a mom shot, so you're not gonna say, man, don't call me no more.
Yeah.
You can't come short with me anymore
Yeah.
because your mom died. You act like you ain't got no sense.
Yeah.
He gonna say,
Yeah.
man, are you
Yeah.
bye?
Yeah. You're not gonna say, "Ah, get over it.
Yep.
I'll be back later. You'll be all right
Hmm.
and keep it rolling." No, that's not a friend.
No, that's no real friend.
No.
No, not at
No.
all. So
Or
yeah.
or what happens in those cases sometimes is a person turns it into, okay, so you having that issue, but let me tell you about me. This,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I had a bad day today,
Hmm.
and you know, and it's that's when you start wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Someone's trying to one up on you
Yeah.
or share you. Well,
Or
in
just diminish
oh, wow.
what you're dealing
I
with.
never thought about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I wouldn't even be sharing the pain. I wouldn't.
No, no, that's
Mm.
diminishing what the validity of what you're dealing with.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the emotion again that's not being presented in this case is the emotion of what we really care
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
between that other particular person.
Yeah. And that's one of the things
Mm-hmm.
that you find with evasion.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, that's why I say ouch.
Mm-hmm.
Evasion is really the antithesis of caring.
Okay, you said a big word. Help us out there. How many people right here don't even know what antithesis is or can even pronounce it? I'm one of them. I don't. Let me take my head away from the mic. I don't. I don't. What is it?
The opposite.
Oh, the opposite.
The overwhelming, the basic example of
Mm-hmm.
what it is not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the
Flip
opposite.
the script.
Exactly. See, I
Well,
can
I'm your friend,
exactly.
so I can go there.
Yes. I'm sorry, antithesis was just the first word that
That's
came
all
to my
right.
mind.
Hey, you're psychosexual. I love that.
Yeah.
Educated Friday, you it turns me on.
I can say some more big words.
After this is all
Okay.
over, okay?
All right.
We got people watching.
but
Mm-hmm.
on the serious side,
Mm-hmm.
if you think of, if you say, well, I'm not evasive at all,
Mm-hmm.
are you caring 100% of the time? Because if
Mm-hmm.
you're not caring 100% of the time, you are evasive sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and nobody's perfect. So we are going to have some points of being
Mm-hmm.
evasive, but you just need to um minimalize it. Be aware and minimalize those times. Like, I'm tired. I don't want to be bothered. Okay, let me take a deep breath and be bothered for like 15 minutes.
In the action of love, as your example said,
Mm-hmm.
is not an action of love that's going to present it in a way that you might think it should be,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I'm tired. And baby, you gotta know it. You go, oh, he said, nah, I'm tired. I
Give
ain't
me
feeling this right now. Or what you say?
give me a minute, okay?
So the action of love is not always how you want it delivered.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Especially when it's coming from them, not from you.
Mhm.
My important thing in this that I hope everyone can take with them is some from my experiences. The action of love is doing the action.
Yes.
Many times when we're not feeling a certain way, we don't say none.
Right.
We let the other, we're talking about that next called love bombing, but the other
Mhm.
side is love what? Avoiding.
Avoiding.
we
Yes.
we don't even say anything.
Yes.
You may let that person guess. We have
Exactly.
that good game face,
Oh gosh,
and you
I'm
don't even know what's going on. It's still
yeah.
emotional
Yeah.
avoidance. It
And
really is,
I'm
and you don't even know what's
so
going on.
guilty of that, and I
Yeah,
know that.
sometimes you play that.
And
Yeah,
I'm trying
yeah.
to get away from that. But there are times
Got a
when I'm
pretty
just
face too.
like
I don't know why you do that.
fatigue for the
That
most part.
job,
I get
yeah,
so emotionally wrapped up
that teaching
that when
job,
I come home I have nothing left.
yeah.
And
Well,
I've
you do. You just need to switch the energy I talked
yeah,
about before.
yeah. But
Because you
I quite often don't have
because
time. Yeah.
you have spent so much of your life at energy, and it becomes more of a love for that than the
Hmm.
love for your own self in life.
Yeah.
And that's where you first had to start that love for your own self
Yeah.
and what you could present to the world too. So
I give those kids all the love
I
that
know
I
you
have
do.
locked up in me.
Yeah, I know.
I had s- 6 or
You got the
7.
Kool-Aid mom there.
Yeah, I had 6
They
or
ain't paying
7
you enough
seniors
anyway.
come into my classroom today after everybody was gone to
Same.
say, you know, I made it or whatever. I had one kid run down the hall and said, I
Mhm,
did it. I got everything passed. I'm on walk,
mhm.
and
I,
it was great.
and I'm saying to you to transmit that back to
Yes.
you is next time you pull out one of my hat that looks like a good offering plate.
Yeah.
You put it in front of him and say, now pay me now
Yes.
and not later. Give me my flowers while I'm
Wow.
alive. That's what you
And
do.
that's what they were doing, to be honest with you.
Okay.
They were doing that right
You didn't
then.
take that home, did you?
I did. That's why I feel a lot lighter and I'm
And
smiling
just
now.
because you hear that.
Yeah.
We talked about how you should be putting together a book of
Yeah.
all of those kind of encounters as
Yeah.
part of a teacher to show how you in turn have given back
Yeah.
and touched the world. That's very, very important from that end.
And
So
I might start working on that a little bit this
so you
summer.
had that energy in you.
Mhm.
Okay. The transferring or the, regrouping yourself
Yes.
to be able to share that, because the energy that we're called love, it's endless.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
endless. It is endless. Or you
Yes.
can work. I mean, sometimes we know that we can work our body action wise and work our body to death. That's the
Mhm.
power of that
Absolutely.
action,
It is.
that
It
energy.
is.
It
It
can do
is.
that. And then, of course, we got to watch our time too. I see you looking over there.
Yes.
And then we know that we have, and we're going off stray a little bit, folks. We know that. And then we look at some of you little kids. They little tiny as can be, and yet they got more energy than you, me, and everybody else. You're like, now how can you look at someone that small and that much energy comes out of? Because energy is energy, how it works through a mass or
Mhm.
how it works through something that has to do with a body form or what other kind of form. It is the energy,
Yes.
not necessarily the form itself.
Yes.
So that's one thing for sure. And that's what we also have to move
Yes.
on when we deal in our relationship, to be more
Yes.
emotional giving in
Mhm.
a friendly friendship way, knowing that's what action is, and not like our next one called love
Love
bombing.
bombing.
What's love
Yes.
bombing?
It's marked by an inconsistent romance.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's like, I love you today, but tomorrow's not guaranteed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I got a headache
Uh,
for the last 5 years.
exactly. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, but then you have gaslighting.
Mm.
And how do we describe gaslighting?
Um, when the stove doesn't automatically have the click, so I have to turn on the gas and then take a match and light it and put it there. Isn't that a good gas line?
Ooh, sure.
Oh, really?
Right now.
Okay, I can give you one. I can give you
Okay.
one. I know sometimes when I'm working on a project that I got my head deep into, and
Mhm.
you could come over and start asking me because you innocently want to know what's going on with the project.
Uh-huh.
And I will like say, get the hell out of here.
Oh, you do not.
Or what are you bothering me? And some other expletive point. And that was a form of gaslighting.
Yes.
It really was.
Yes.
It was giving the impression to you that I thought you was, and you know how I am about it, being nosy,
Yeah.
micromanage me,
Yeah.
trying to mom me,
Yeah.
anything like that, that I just don't really go for
Yeah.
on that side. And yet,
But
many a times you've told me it's because you're really what?
interested.
And
But it's
curious.
you don't do what you just said. This is
I
what
know
you
I
do.
feel like it, but anyway.
But you don't. Thank goodness,
Hmm.
because triggers.
Okay.
But anyway, but what you usually do is
Mm.
nothing you need to be worried about.
Yeah, I did that
And
before.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna pop a pimple in a minute. So,
Mm. Who was that?
hmm,
What do you mean by that?
pop a
Oh
pimple.
yeah, I got to look up time because I don't know what that means. But go ahead.
Pop a pimple means I'm gonna lose it. It's like
Oh,
blowing a
okay.
gasket. There's some things that I want to say, but as your
Mm-hmm.
friend, I'm gonna keep it down.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, because that's insulting. It's condescending and
You can see the
diminishing.
way I look. I have hardly no idea
Yeah.
because my thoughts still I battle with
Would you-
is like you are momming me. You are being, what is it, micromanaging
Yes.
me, and I may not even ask you to be bothered with me in the first place. In all those things come out in my mind
Yeah.
in that way, and I can understand if it's not how you really feel, what you really do, then that's where that conflict is.
Yeah.
Speaking,
But you do
speaking
a lot of interesting things.
but speaking more um from the side that you were speaking the first
Hmm.
time, which would be more, I'm interested in what you're doing. No, I'm not just
Yeah.
leaving it all on you,
Yeah.
but it would help out from the
Hmm.
standpoint of you already hear what I'm thinking and
Yeah.
feeling. We talked about this before, folks, too,
Yeah.
is to actually be using that hot principle to speak to me what I'm really trying to do,
Hmm.
so it can really help me out and get that
Yes.
grounded in my memory,
Yes.
and you be
And,
involved with some of
and
the
kick
stuff I
out
do
some of
more.
those. Well, I don't always want to
I know
be
because I'm doing a lot.
involved.
Because I'm
Sometimes
doing a lot of stuff.
I just want a brief understanding of
Sending
what's happening
exactly.
then, because I'm involved in something too. But it's just
I
passing through. I'm like,
understand.
oh, that looks interesting.
Okay.
And so and that's one of those things that we have to do. That's one
Mm.
of the things that you know, I realize it's that same melding of love languages.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Another one we talk real briefly about. We'll move on. We're probably not going to get finished with this anyway today. Is the flattery that sometimes love bombing has.
Hmm.
Honey, I think you really look good. I love that. And they turn around like, damn, what in the hell she got that thing on for?
Yeah.
She ugly as a monster.
I don't get that from you.
No, I'm just
I
saying.
know.
I
I
know you heard
know.
that from me.
I know. And I'm saying that you're hot so much of the time
Mm-hmm.
that you are going to say, what you got that on for?
Mm-hmm.
And I got to be thick skinned enough to say, because I want it on.
Mm-hmm.
Don't it look good? Knowing that that question was saying it doesn't look good. So, but you got to work through it. But I love the hotness.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, do you think it's rude?
It depends on when you do it.
Really?
Yes.
So you think I'm saying it, but I'm really rude about it?
It
Do you think
depends.
I think it's rude?
No, you don't think it's rude.
Mm-mm. I
No.
didn't think so.
No.
I didn't think so.
No. And
Wow.
and whether something is rude or not
Hmm.
is all in how you receive it, not how it's delivered.
Well, sometimes people judge you by your
Yeah.
delivery.
And
If you
sometimes
don't
people,
deliver the way I really want you to it
yeah.
with that platter and all that good stuff, and that's what we talked about before.
Yeah.
Some people will use disingenuous or be conned.
Mhm.
I'll be very conning about how they're presenting
Yes.
themselves to them, which really manipulation,
Yeah.
and they really don't really care about you in the first place. But they
Right.
get the perception how they deliver it in such a way of doing it. And
Well,
our biggest thing again, going back to friendship wise, if there's really just mostly but talk, but really no action, no consistent
mhm.
action, you can look at the action and say,
Yeah.
no, no,
That's
someone
like
just no.
the other day you put on a hat
Hmm.
and you said, "What do you think about this?" And I was like, how about not?" And you said, "But I like this hat." I'm like, mm-mm. And you went and looked in the mirror and you're like, "Yeah, you're right." It's not looking right today. And so, it's not being rude, it's being honest,
Hmm. Hmm.
and so yeah, we have to go with that.
Well, we're on Thursdays at 6 p.m. We're almost coming to the end of the show. We have about 2 minutes left, and we're talking about our topic, caring and evasion. We're really is part 3. I should have put that down.
Yes.
Hey, why don't you tell people where are we at on Saturdays? Where are we at Saturdays?
On Saturday, 9 to 10 a.m., we are on WRUU, and we are taking the journey together there. It is a different topic that we do on Saturday from what we do on Thursday, just because we like to keep it open and not have the same thing going. We don't generally say the same thing every time we go through it either. And so join us 9 a.m. on WRUU. What are we talking about this week?
I can't remember. Isn't that a shame? Well, it
Yeah,
was a new topic
it
too,
was.
and we just came up with that one. I can't
Yes.
remember what is. Hold on for a second, because we got
Yes.
a couple of minutes in
Yes.
our
No, it's
bridge
not bridge.
statements. It's
No, we're
not
not
bridge
talking
statement.
bridge statements.
Okay, well, must be
No,
something new. I
I
thought we were talking about bridge
no,
statements
no,
over
no,
there.
no. We're not talking bridge statements.
Okay,
Well, maybe we are, but
maybe we
I
are.
don't remember.
Well, we got
But
a
at
couple
any
of
rate,
minutes.
check in and find out.
Yep. Okay, we're going to try to do the right thing. 7 minutes. Take it over. We are done. We're out of here until next time. Take your journey together as an adventure and use care instead of evasion.